Yes, I can hear now. I can't hear anything just now. But it's kind of far right now. Still far. So in the very beginning, when you add me in, right, that I could hear your voice very clear, and now it's very far away. Yeah.
Still far?
Yeah, better now. Better now. Maybe you can try the mic.
Also, we still have this too, so you can still hear
Oh,
me.
yes, yes, this mic is
Uh,
perfect. Yeah.
having the handheld works, and then from the ceiling also. So, okay, I'll leave it to Teresa.
Um, First of all, Tim and Brian and Jason, I want to thank you all again for providing this wonderful lunch in and accommodating our time. I'm so sorry our time just keeps moving and moving. And thank you so much for being online, Ken, to bring us this great program. So I don't want to take too much time. I know you've been waiting for a long time. So let's get started. Unless Brian and Jason wanted to introduce a little bit. Okay. All right, Ken, let's get started.
Okay, let me share my screen. So it's in Chinese, but I mean, feel free to accommodate this. Okay, can you see the PowerPoint, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Sorry,
so
Ken. I sorry I have to interrupt you a little bit because we do have a couple of agents here who do not read Chinese. So when you go through that, can you give me a maybe a few seconds between slides so that I can translate?
uh, I I can do the presentation in English while with the Chinese PowerPoint, if that's okay,
Okay,
then I
that'd
could.
be great. We have
Okay,
a couple people here who needs who doesn't understand Chinese.
okay, sure. But I mean, if I don't translate correctly, just feel free to help me to to update it. Yeah. So, without further ado, let me just start it. So my name is Ken. I'm in charge of the private lending program in our Transglobal. And the first slide is just talking about 放于好一代 is our Chinese program name, and English is Trans Easy Loan. So it's a great helper as investment property for a loan. And the bottom you see there's 16 Chinese characters. So what I mean is fast closing, no doc, we don't check any income, and the interest is reasonable, and we can customize all your loans. So this is just all four types of main point. And this is just a brief introduction of myself. My name is Ken. I've been with the Transglobal for more than 4 years, and I have more than 10 years experience in banking and mortgage industry. And I started as a teller from Citibank, and then personal banker and branch manager in a local community bank. And I graduated from USC. Currently, I have a mortgage, insurance, and California real estate broker license. So that license just, I mean, I'm just mainly focusing on the loan, but those three types of different licenses give me the knowledge and the capability to give a lot of well-rounded and customized advices to all my clients. So this slide is just saying that on the market, right, there's three main types of a mortgage program. So first type is what we call the conforming loan, is a paper loan. So this type of program is, you know, usually offered by the major bank. And what you need to do is just, for people, just provide W-2, 2-year W-2, 2-year tax return, and their credit score, and basically they can do the loan. And since you provide all the information, right, usually this one has the best interest rate. And then the second program is what we call the stated income loan. So so many different types of state income. We have DSCR based on the rental income. We have a VOE program. We have a bank statement program. There's so many other things. But the thing about this state income is that even though you don't have to provide your actual income, but you end up providing more documents. It's just like the first program, right? You just need to provide, let's say your income is 100,000 per year. You just provide your 2-year W-2 tax return. It's just clear. But the second program, you are stating that you have 100,000 income per year. But how do you prove it? So you have to provide all other documents to prove it. And then a lot of things could happen because things get complicated. And the third one is our private lending program. So our private lending program is a real no-duck loan. So we don't check your tax return. We don't check the source of fund. We don't check income. And as long as you have a credit score more than 600, then we can do the loan. And many often a lot of customers, they come in for help because they wanted to do the regular loan, right? And the regular loan, their source of fund needs to be in the bank for 2 months. But sometimes they have less than that. Or sometimes they close the account. So they ended up not able to do the regular loan. So that's when we come in. Oh, by the way, feel free, because the presentation is pretty short. So feel free to interrupt me anytime if you have any questions. Okay. So Teresa, let me know if someone has questions. Okay, so here's the catch. For our private lending loan, because it's asset based, so we lend. Yeah, go ahead.
So let me run a scenario by you. I'm actually looking for a construction loan. It's out in Horseshoe Bay area, which is near Austin. The house is appraised 1.2 million once the construction is done.
Okay.
The lot and land is already purchased free and clear. All the investors have 750 and above FICO. We're looking at the lowest cost possible because where we've gone to hard money lenders and that, they want to charge so much upfront points. So that's where we're stuck at.
Okay.
The construction of the house is 600,000, and
So sorry to interrupt, because we don't do construction loans. We just do.
Okay.
So essentially we are like a hard money loan, but more reasonable interest. So we do it based on the property value. So in terms of construction loan, you're just building halfway, right? That way we couldn't do it. But what we have done is for people they want to do fix and flip, right? We appraise based on their current property, maybe it's older, based on the value of that, we lend them the money and then they can do whatever after that.
Then let me ask you a second scenario. I have
okay.
planning on purchasing a rundown motel in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
New Mexico, okay.
Motel is going to be a conversion project. Do you do anything related construction, or does it have?
No, we don't do anything related to construction.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. Okay, so let's just say how our transition loan can help which type of people. Like first is they don't have a constant income or ongoing income, or they don't qualify for the regular mortgage requirements, like such as if that credit score is low, or they have a mortgage late payment, or they cannot prove the source of fund. Or if they are new immigrants or foreign nationals, they don't have credit score, right? But we can still do it. The basic reason is because we do everything based on the appraisal value, the equity of the house. And we can do cash out too. So in fact, we have a few clients, they actually need a cash out to do some business to invest in other business. So they actually use the cash out. And we are also like a mortgage all-in-one services. So what happens is we as a private lending program, we do a 1 year or 2 year bridge loan. And then after that, we try to help the clients to see if we can refinance for a longer term, like 15 years or 30 years. So other than what we can help, we also act as escrow rescue. So like because people want to do loan, right? They still shop for rates, right? So of course regular people, when they have a good credit score, a good income, of course they will go to A paper loan, but things could happen in the process. So they could, decline due to low credit score or late mortgage payment or other payment or source of fund and other reasons. And that's when we come in. So we have a few cases where this person was doing A paper loan, and then on the 15th day they realized, they something wrong with the source of fund or late mortgage payment, and that's when we come in. And because we have all the documents provided, we actually finish the loan faster than their regular loan. So we actually have a case. I think this was last year. A client, good income, good credit score, everything is good, and then he was doing an A paper loan, but like I think on the 10th day or something, they realized the previous house he had a late mortgage payment. So in terms of the big major bank, if they have a late mortgage payment history, then they cannot do the loan. So that's when they come into us, and then we help them to fund the loan. And then because he actually a good candidate, so after 3 months he refinanced everything out to a longer term. So that's how we do it. Yeah. Any questions on this side?
Okay, and I have a question. So I'm still about.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Okay, okay, this is better.
Oh, this is
So
better,
I'm
yes.
thinking about the use of this loan and how you operate, because I understand a little bit about your loan before you came in here. So I actually want to answer the question that David had regarding the construction. So
Okay.
my understanding, your problem may not be the construction itself. It's like having some cash. So if you can do cash out, so if, for example, if I bought this rundown hotel for maybe $1.5 million, and I need another $1 million to bring it up to date, can I cash out $1 million from this property, and I can use this cash to do constructions? Do you care?
Not from this. I mean, if not for hotels. Hotels. I mean, we're in the process of doing a private lending fund with a larger amount, but right now we mostly do residential properties and mixed use properties and warehouses. But you're on the right track. So that's why we have a fund like that, and as long as we could appraise the value right, we lend it based on the value. So let's say you're doing a construction maybe later, but right now, as is, we could appraise the value for 3 million, then we could lend you 60% of that.
So the hotel that's being purchased is going to be converted into an apartment. So it's a conversion loan that we're trying to do, because the city is actually giving the hotel space completely free to us. The land tax is all I have to pay, which is about maybe $300,000 that's on it. So I'm getting this dirt cheap, but they're asking me to convert it into a single bedroom apartments for the housing. So it'll be designated housing, not as a commercial, so to speak. So I don't know how you guys look at that.
That way we cannot do it now, but we could do a cash if let's say you get funding from somewhere, maybe even higher rate, but we could do a cash out after everything is built, and then we use that complete project appraisal value and lend you 60%. But we cannot use the current situation. We cannot lend on that.
So I want to lay that clear about this question is that the property itself used to be a hotel, and right now they're converting into a single one bedroom apartment building or something like that. So it becomes a residential, sort of multifamily residential slash residential. So if it's a multifamily, can you do a cash out?
Yes, we have done cash out for multifamily too.
Okay, is there a unit limit? Because I know some loans there's like a under 20 or under 75, whatever. There's a unit number of unit limit. Do you have a
No,
limit?
we don't have that.
It's 100.
So the thing, we are very flexible. So we do purely based on the equity. So that's why we don't check the source of fund. So in terms of source of fund, right? We have customers, just like I mentioned, they are doing a paper loan, and then suddenly for some reason they don't understand, right? They just close their joint account and open a new joint account in another bank, and that's when the lender catch a red flag, and they come to us. We just fund it because they have 40. As long as they have 40%, then we can fund the 60%.
Right, right. So the good thing about this Transglobal, right? Are
Yeah.
you still okay? So the Transglobal private lending is they're very flexible.
Yes.
So if you project that's out of ordinary that needs creative way to land, that's where you go to. I would always recommend Transglobal. And I have another example. So if we were purchasing we have a team for renovations like in high-end homes. Like
Mhm.
if we have we have a city here in Dallas called Highland Park. Sorry,
Okay.
bless you. And then some old homes there, they maybe worth like 800,000 or under 1 million that if you can get it and then you renovate it and you can sell it for maybe about 2 million. So if we get the house when they're old and we have to tear it down or rebuild or whatever or renovate but the appraise for maybe 800,000 and we can probably get another 500,000 out of it as cash out and then use that cash to
Yes.
the
Yes. Yeah. You're
renovation.
right. Yes.
Okay. 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 Yeah. I thought that you could do that. So that's why I was trying to understand the construction loan because even though we're using it for construction, but we're actually getting the cash out based on the value of the property.
Yes. 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 But because we do have a pool of investors, so sometimes it really depends on the property. So if the property is old, that's fine. But sometimes the property is really run down, there's broken doors, broken windows, things like that. Then we may not be able to fund it, depending on what kind of investors we can find.
Got you.
So,
Got you.
so like you said, any deals, any cases, scenario, just feel free, just run by me anyways. Maybe there are some ways, sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't, but just feel free to add. No harm asking.
Okay. Great. I'm
Yeah.
interrupting. Continue.
Yeah, and also since you mentioned this, I give you another example. So recently we closed a deal about 5 million property, and what happened is this client they bought the house in cash, and then they ran out of cash to pay for, every year there's a property tax, right? So that's when they use us to cash out the property, pay for the property tax, so to prevent the house being foreclosed. And then after 6 months, when the money comes in, then they pay off. So it could be any scenario, any situation. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I do have another scenario I want to share with you about the use of this loan is because I'm planning to actually highly recommend this loan to my clients this year because last year I had to apologize, Ken. I knew Ken a long time ago, but I just forgot about this loan last year when I had literally three different clients had the same situation. And this year I'm gonna approach them again and recommend this loan is that they are living in a house and they want to sell this house and buy another house. So they're kind of in a kind of backed in the corner that they have to sell without the proceed of the sales, they cannot buy a house. However, because they don't have the money, they cannot buy and they don't want to move out before they sell. And that kind of makes the sales process very difficult, especially a lot of Asian family. They have a lot of things. They have a fish tank, they they have all their slip.
Yes.
I'm serious. It doesn't really work the best for the house value. And of course, everyone from, since COVID, they feel like their house is worth, X amount of money. But last year was a difficult year and they didn't want to drop their price to sell. So it was really difficult for me. And unfortunately, all three sales fell through because they didn't sell and they didn't want to drop the price. They finally just took off the market and they didn't have anywhere to go. So they were not in a hurry. They're like,
Mm.
if I sold it today, why do I drop the price? If I drop the price, I have to sell right now. I have to buy another one and I don't have anywhere to move to. Right. So basically it was my fault that I didn't prepare them enough to make sure that they have somewhere to move to, right? But they didn't have the money to buy.
Mm.
So that
Mhm.
was like catch 22 there. So this year I'm gonna go back to them and recommend them this loan that can you have so that when they are ready to buy, I would recommend them to buy first.
Mm-hmm.
And that will give them maybe 4 to 6 months after they move into the new home and they can sell their current home at a
At a
better
better price. Yes.
move everything out and we can stage it, we can renovate it, we can make it prettier, we can sell a better price, and they can get a better money return, and they will be settled into a good home. And then they don't have to worry about people coming to see, they can't show, they're not ready, they have a dog. They're literally these are the things that actually happened. So
Yes.
I just want to show you that this is gonna be a very useful tool for us.
So you actually remind me of a scenario we did. So what happened is this is a good customer, have good income, but the income only qualify for the existing, primary residence. So when they want to buy a new house, they want to upgrade, they can't possibly qualify. I mean, with the two loans, right? Their income is not enough. So that's when we lend them to buy. We lend them 60%. They come up with the 40% down, and then lend them 60% to buy the new property, and then they move it. They bought a house, right? Move to the new property. They rented out the existing one for 6 months before they sell it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one way you guys can do too. Okay. No questions now. We'll move to the next slide.
One more question. Does it
Sure.
have foreigner or can it be just regular citizen?
Oh, it could be anybody. It could be foreign national or regular. In fact, we have a lot of Chinese customers and Taiwanese customers. They bought it as a foreign national.
Okay.
But
Okay,
I mean
thank
the rate is slightly higher, not too much difference, but because the foreign national slightly riskier, but I mean the rate is still competitive. And then for some, I think what I did a case is where we have a Chinese customer, he couldn't fly over when he bought the house, but before that he already did a power of attorney with the local realtors, so we could actually close with the POA and things like that, and then even though in the end he didn't come to US to purchase, but we still help them to do the loan and purchase the property. Okay, so this is one example we could do to help you, is what we call the cash equivalent purchase, because we are a bridge loan, right? A private loan, no doc loan. So typically our closing time is about 5 to 10 business days. But I would say that when you guys go out and tell the customer, just say 10 business days, because 5 days sometimes is too pressurizing. So usually we'll say 10 business days. And this case is that we have a customer wanted to buy a $1 million home, and then A is our competitor. They offer 1 million with the mortgage offer, but because it's a mortgage, right? A regular loan, a paper loan, so it needs 30 days escrow and 17 days loan contingency. But for us, even though we offer 20K lower, but we can offer what we call cash equivalent because we can close in 10 days, right? So we do 2 weeks escrow, and then once we can give you a quote because it's asset based, then we pretty much guarantee we can do the loan, and that's why you could remove the loan contingency. So we have no loan contingency. So because of that, even though we are 20K lower, the seller still sell to our buyer. So that's what you could do when you do the offer. So even though you are still doing a loan, but you could tell or maybe educate the seller that you are doing a cash equivalent offer. Because even if you buy with cash, right, you probably still need at least 10 days to close, I'm assuming. Okay. And then this is criteria. Before I go into criteria, is that we know that the interest rate actually just went up a little bit this few days. And then we'll know that in this year or maybe this year or next year, the interest rate is still very unstable. We don't know, even though every time they say that it's going to go down, but it's not. When they say it's going up, but it's not. So this 2 years is you're not sure. And that's when our private lending bridge loan comes in because we only do 1 year or 2 year. So you could tell your client that why not use this as an option to buy the property first. You could do a cash equivalent offer, maybe with a lower price, get a bargain, or you lock down only for 1 or 2 years. And then when the interest rate comes down 2 years later, you could do a refinance for 30 years. So that's another opportunity for you. So in terms of criteria, right? Our property type is it has to be investment properties only. So we cannot do primary residence. So we only can do investment properties. But one catch is if they are foreign nationals, all the property they purchase in US are considered as investment property. So that's one way you could help them categorize it as investment property. And we can do single family, condominium, townhouse, and just long as I mentioned, multi-unit we could do also. And then commercial right now, like I said, it's case by case. So mostly what we do is mixed use or warehouses. But we are in the process of doing a private lending fund that might have multiple functionalities. But right now we don't have that yet. So right now we will stick to this one. But when we have the private lending fund, I'll let you guys know. And the long term is 1 year or 2 year. The prepayment penalty is 1 year. For 1 year term is 6 months. 2 year term is 5% within 12 months. So what this means is that if let's say the borrower wanted to borrow 1 year term, but after 6 months he was able to refinance, sell his house or do anything, he can pay off the loan after 6 months without any penalty. However, if it's before 6 months, it will be 6 months stepped out. What this means is that imagine we fund a loan this month, right? And then he wanted to pay off this month. He pays 6% of the penalty of the loan amount, and then second month is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 till 6 months. Is after on the 7th month, then you don't have to pay. But for the 2 year term, is 5% of the loan amount if paid within the 12 months. And the interest rate is starting at 8.25%. So this is interest only loan. So in terms of payment, right, the 8.25% is about the same payment as the A-paper loan, 7.25%. So sometimes if your client is complaining, oh, this rate how come higher than the regular loan, then we can always do a fee sheet. I can show them the payment, and later I can show example on that also. So the clients will be okay with that. And the loan to value is 6% as is. So this 6 in terms of cash out is by the appraisal value. But if it's a purchase, we'll look at the purchase price or the appraisal value, whichever is lower. And then for the fees, there's underwriting fee for $2,500, and then outside California we add $500. And then origination fee is starting from 2 points. So this is like 2% of the loan amount. But from the 2% of the loan amount, you as an agent, you get 0.5% as a commission. And the thing about fees, because we're private lending, right? So everything is legal. You will get a 1099, everything is legal. And then when in the escrow, right, the borrower or the client only see that Transglobal charging the points. They don't see you charging any points. So that way it helps you to talk to client and let you help the client easier. And the loan size is from 200,000 to 2 million, but you can go up and down. It can be customized. And credit score is minimum 600, and foreign nationals can be waived as long as they provide foreign passport. In regards to credit score, what we want to see is this client don't have habitual late payments. So we have done cases that even though he's a green card, he has 550, but we look at the credit report. Okay, we realize, okay, the reason his low credit score is not because of late payments, because he's a new immigrant. There's not enough credit history. So we lend him anyways. So the thing about this program is just any scenario just run by me first. Maybe there's some way we can work around it. Any questions? Okay, then I'll do the next slide. So this is a comparison of the monthly payment. The first one is, like I said, the A-paper loan, and the second one is the state income loan, and the last one is our TransEasy loan. you see that the first one, let's just compare the A paper loan with us, is 6.25, and then ours 8.25, right? It seems like we are 2% higher. But when you look at the monthly payment, we are only $400 more. Why? Because the A paper loan is principal plus interest, but ours is interest only. But I mean, people will argue that, okay, yeah, you guys we are higher because I mean you guys are higher because of that, right? But if you look at the regular mortgage A paper loan, even though it's principal plus interest, if you look at the amortization table, if anyone is interested, I can show you, offline. You see that the first 5 months, I'm sorry, the first three to 5 years, you pay mostly on the interest, even though it's principal plus interest because it was amortized. But so that's why when you really compare those two, it's only $400 difference. Any question on this? Okay. So this is just that saying that our application is very easy. So you just submit application letter, and then we review it. So based just mostly on the appraisal and report like that, and then we approve it, and then we fund the loan. So usually it's 5 to 10 business days. So in terms of escrow rescue, I have done cases where I did it in 5 to 6 days because we already have all the documents. We can use the existing documents. So let's say if they do a loan, right? A paper loan, something happened, something failed, we could use the existing appraisal report, credit report, and everything. We could use it. And I know one of the agents mentioned about New Mexico. Currently, we don't do New Mexico, but we still do most national states. So you see whatever's in green, right? That's the state we can do. And then whatever is in orange, we still can do that, but it just has to close under entity. So pretty much the major states we could do. Yeah, but I mean, if you guys happen to have, maybe cases in New Mexico or Missouri, and you let us know that you will have a lot of cases coming in, then maybe we can consider apply for that state's license. Because in terms of the private lending, right, we still have to apply license in different states. So that's why we don't cover the whole United States. We just cover the most major cities and states. Any question on this? So if no questions, this is my contact information. I'm based in California, but I mean, anything, just feel free to text me or call me anytime. And this is my WeChat. But I mean, if you don't have WeChat, that's fine. Just feel free to add my numbers and send me your business cards so I know how to contact you.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sure.
So I see that you're in Florida. Is it programs
I'm in
different?
California.
Well,
no, it's the same.
map. They're all the same. Okay.
Yeah. So the criteria, the guideline is the same.
Okay. So, I'll share my email. I'd love to see some of the guidelines because there might be something that might work out because I'm actually looking at near just outside of north of Destin is a parcel of land that I'm interested in, and it's got some old homes on it, so that might work in our
Okay.
favor.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question for Ken? Okay. Thank you, Ken. And I just gonna talk about my part for 5 minutes. You have that?
I just see that name of the WeChat.
Okay. Okay.
Can you put that?
Ken, can you put your WeChat QR code?
Okay, sure. Let me do that. Okay. Let me share again.
So I'm gonna say that how the Transglobal take you to next level. As our boss Philip always said, if you go to the one party, there's more than 10 dishes that and you just choose one to eat, and then you go to the other party and you still eat one dish. Why don't you just grab others to eat? And I would say that if you have like a private, you have the private lending, you can just contact Ken. They can help you And the others, like for example, we do also doing like a tax consultant, like a living trust or retirement plan or other things. If you're interested, we can also help in the local office. For example, we have some like realtor we work with. Their client may be like a new immigrant, so they have that kind of like they are interested in how to buy the stock in US. So they want to invest, you know, that like recently that people talk about the Nvidia, the Tesla or Amazon, and so we help them to open the account. They can just start to buy the whatever the stock they want. And also like some case I'm just working with like for example, do you know that if you selling the property like I will say 500 grand house, you get the commission is the same as if you help your client to move their help them to transfer their 401k to IRA to buy annuity, just 200 grand, that you get the same commission. So for example, if your client is like they change their job, they have to like move their former 401k to the IRA, right? So you just help them. There is no cost. You just help them to move their former 401k into their IRA to buy the one annuity. That is the you can get the like I will say if you just do like transfer 200 grand 401k to IRA, I think the commission is the same as if you sell the house for 500 grand. Yeah, and also that we have the many type of annuity for like for example, many our realtor their client really like the like do you know that there is a CD type annuity that they offer like a the rate is 5.45 for 5 years guarantee compound. So that if your client is interested in like CD, just like CD, they want to save down their money and get guaranteed the rate. I think it's the rate is better than the bank. Yeah. So, and also guarantee for 5 years. Yeah. So that will help your client. So we also like some case where I'm doing this week is like I have the client in Houston. She is the new immigrant and she with younger than 30 age. Age is younger 30, but with the 30 million asset. So she is like ask us to like give her some financial planning. Yeah, and also we have made the doctor here also under age 30, and made like 400 to 500 grand a year. So she want to know how to get her tax lower, and maybe do some planning for her future. She can get like tax-free income. We also help her. The other case is like age like a 63 client that with the 3 million 401k, we just help him to do the Roth conversion. So we do it like a lot of the financial planning or like a tax consultant to the client. So if you the client is like I would say that you help them to buy the house, maybe they have the other things you can help too. That's it, just my part. Thank you.
Because I don't know about Dave, but I've worked in big corporate America before companies, and they always every year they have a retirement planning meeting for their employees. Unfortunately, for our realtors, we're self-employed. If we don't kind of help our agents to get that information, they don't get it from anywhere. So we actually would love to. We actually partner with companies like Transglobal to bring retirements and planning your assets and your estates even maybe for your future and what's going to happen to your kids, and that's important to us. You just never know. But I know that some people don't want to talk about it. Now, I already know I don't want to talk about it, But I always learn new things every time I talk to these guys. There are always things new. There are always things changing, and we always want to keep on top of the money because we spend so much time and so much effort, so much work to make the money, and we better keep them keep them well and going.
Not working for you.
Right?
You gotta make money work.
We
for
work
you.
so hard for the money, we better keep them well, right? Keep them somewhere safe, and so that when we get old, we can still use them and make sure that we can take care of ourselves, so that we don't become a burden for our children. Any questions?
I will say that the tax, we just talked about tax issue that the inquiry is very interesting. This topic, so we
Yeah,
can use the
that's true.
tax to like to introduce ourselves.
So y'all provide tax services as well, as far as filing taxes?
Yeah, we
right
have the
outside?
local CPA to work with, but the thing is, we are we are not just doing the tax filing, but they're also doing the tax planning. That is totally different.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just like Marisa said that if you are making if you are getting the income is from 1099, if you just over deduct the expense, if you just made the income is over, I will say 80 grand, that maybe you have to, we will suggest you to open a company and get some plan to lower your tax.
Yeah, on the income tax thing, it's also like we pay so much for two IRS, and it's about the time now.
Yeah, yeah.
Every April, it's like, all the money, because I don't know about you, because we're on 1099, so we don't have like, withheld, unless you pay quarterly. So it's kind of difficult in the end, you have to pay a lot.
Yeah.
IRS.
Do you guys, have like P and Ls that y'all kind of track as individuals? Or does EXP provide any kind of a P and L?
EXP does, because I just joined EXP at the end of last year, so
Okay.
we haven't really gone through a cycle yet. I don't think a lot of things.
I don't think there's here,
P and L? Okay, the reason I ask that is because I do a business planning class as well. Normally do it towards the end of the year. And then I have the templates, so what I do is I can share it with you and you can disperse it with the team.
Okay.
And inside of that business plan, obviously, it says, if you want to make 100,000, these are the touch points. This is how many, the percentage of efforts need to go towards your farming, your cold calling, your sphere of influence, maybe your church organization, school, whatever it may be. And then on another one of those tabs at the bottom of the Excel, it's an Excel file that First American Titles created for real estate agents.
Okay.
And on the last page, it has your P and Ls. So it lets you know what you spent on for the month and whatever, maybe the office supplies, car, all those categories, that you guys need to be tracking, right? So that way you can write them off for taxes and things like that. So I'll share that P and L with you, so that way you can share it with the team. And then if we needed to do just a training session on it, on kind of how it works, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
But I can always come in and I can provide that value to you guys.
Okay.
So again, First American, we're a little bit different. We're a large corporation. We know about 401ks and we have our meetings on it and things like that.
Right. See, you have like an annual meeting, right? Every time when you have an enrollment.
Yeah, we get notifications that say, hey, this is enrollment, and then we get email notifications that you can get more educated on the stock plans,
Yes.
the all that kind of stuff. 401k, the Roth IRA, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
So all the corporations, they do that every year. Unfortunately, as realtors, we don't have a corporation above us, so we don't get that training and we don't get that requirement. So we want to kind of put it in whenever we can, so that you will get protected and you get educated.
Yeah, and as you know, for tax purposes, it's what's the purpose? Where's the tracking? So
Right.
receipts,
Good,
right?
good.
Time clocks, whatever it may
Definitely
be.
do that.
And so you have to have all that information in order for you to write it off, because if you get audited, you're gonna say, oh, you're just making up these numbers. No, I spent this much this month or this year on these things, so that way you can make sure that you're.
Under bigger deduction if you have your own LLC.
Yeah.
instead of you working as a realtor.
Right.
So if you don't do your LLC, the few things that you're not gonna be able to deduct properly is like you went out for lunch.
Yeah.
You have to eat anyways. That's what the IRS
That's
says.
true.
But if your corporation sends you out to eat, I can deduct everything, including McDonald's. You know?
Yeah.
So that's the best $800 you got. I also start, if you guys are advertising, track your KPIs. Make sure that you know what the dollar is spent where and what's working, what's not working, A/B testing, all those things, because sometimes realtors don't realize, hey, I spent X, Y, Z money here and lost all that. So how do you recoup that?
That's the hardest thing. You don't know where they're coming from. But if I get a referral, I always ask them, like, where do you hear from? You know?
Yeah.
So you gotta have to track that. It's so hard. It's not just us. I mean, for any company, they do marketing, they spend millions of dollars, but they have to have a way to know exactly where gives them the highest return.
Yeah, I mean, like for my site, I know what the agents are using. I know they're not using certain features and I know which
Yeah.
they're stuck to, right?
And
And I also know how many responses come back because Google Analytics tells us that we'll get so many hits per day. Like one time I had 40,000 hits and those, I'm like, holy crap, what happened,
right.
And that was a day when almost 300 realtors went on and sent out 2,000 emails each. Of course I'm gonna have a response back.
Yeah.
So you want to keep track of every little bit. The more you keep track, the more money you'll make. And of course, make your money work for you.
Right.
You're in real estate for a reason. Buy an investment property.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But I'll forward you that
Yes,
business plan so
that'd
that
be
way you
great.
can take a
That'd be
look
great.
at it and, do what you can do.
Yeah. And then we'll schedule more meetings and trainings. I know that you mentioned a few topics that are really interesting, then we should schedule, because we do this type of training at least once a month or maybe twice a month. And then we have a weekly training on other things like little things. Like
Yeah.
How to talk to it, how to do listen presentation. But we want to do specific topics at least once a month.
Yeah. No, be happy to help. Be happy to help.
Do you guys do?
And thank you. Maybe these are.
Do you guys do?
Thank you so much. Thank you.